Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos greets the King of Bahrain on his country's 46th National Day. Special Economic Zone Authority in Duqm offers investment opportunities in Rocks Park in Duqm. The Governorate of Musandam witnesses scattered rainfall as the Sultanate is affected by a trough of low-pressure system. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said has sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa, King of Bahrain, on his country's 46th National Day. His Majesty the Sultan also sent a cable of greetings to His Majesty Jigme Khaisar Namgyel Wangchuk, King of Bhutan, on his country's National Day. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a similar cable to His Excellency Nur Sultan Nazarbayev, President of Kazakhstan, on his country's National Day. Within the Sultanate's approach to apply the concept of sustainability for natural components, Special Economic Zone Authority in Duqm offered investment opportunities in Rock Garden in Duqm. The project comes in cooperation with the Ministry of Tourism and is built in an area of 3 square kilometers. The park is considered one of the most stunning geological areas as it includes various unique rock formations of limestone rocks. The project is expected to be a leading touristic destination for tourists, especially those interested in studying the geology of the Sultanate. The latest satellite images show that the effect of the trough of low pressure has started affecting the Governorate of Musandam with isolated rain early this morning. The analysis in the National Multi-Hazard Early Warning Center predicts that it will last until Monday the 18th of December 2017, with isolated rain, occasionally thunder showers associated with fresh wind and hail, affecting gradually the governorates of Musandam, Muscat, Al-Buraimi, Al-Dhahira, North and South Batna, Al-Dakhiliya, and North and South Al-Sharqiya, with chances of cloud development and isolated rain over the governorates of Al-Wusta and Dhafar. Seas will be moderate to rough along the coastal areas of Musandam and Sea of Oman, with a maximum wave height of 3 meters. The Public Authority for Civil Aviation advises the public to take extreme precautions during the flow of rain, avoid crossing overflowing wadis, not to venture out to sea, and follow the latest weather bulletins. Ukraine Embassy in Muscat held a ceremony to mark the 25th anniversary of the diplomatic relations between the Sultanate and Ukraine. The ceremony included a speech delivered by His Excellency Vadim Vakrushev, Ambassador of Ukraine, accredited to the Sultanate, in which he dwelt on the mutual political, touristic and economic relations between the two friendly countries. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, Secretary General of the Foreign Ministry. Activities of the 6th International Conference, Oman's Relations with Indian Ocean and Gulf Countries, which is organized by National Archives and Records Authority, concluded in the Kuwaiti capital. More details are in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai.
The 6th International Conference on Oman's relations with the countries of Indian Ocean and the Gulf during the period from 17th to 19th century concluded its sessions here at Sheikh Jaber Al Ahmed Culture Center in Kuwait.
And this conference exactly assists us to know new things which we are not known here and for others. Many new facts about the Oman history, Oman relations with their neighbors and other.
This conference has given us the opportunity to focus on the relationships between Oman and Indian countries, oceans and the Gulf. We truly need, like this conference, to dig in our history and Gulf history.
The conference highlighted historical, geographic, political, cultural, architectural and humanitarian contact with the world economy, the best human contribution to human civilization.
Actually, I'm very proud what we had and what we took in these 3 days. In this previous 3 days, we have discussed around 45 research paper. It's valued and it's gaining information and sharing information with the other.
This all was discussed during the 3 days sessions that witnessed extensive discussions through a wide range of research papers, which resulted in having 22 recommendations. Some of these recommendations are to establish a scientific center for studies on the relations related to the Gulf countries and Indian Ocean, inclusion in the curriculum subject related to relations of these countries, and conduct further studies and research on the same.
I am so much amazed to know all such information about the history of the empire of Oman, to know how much it's extended. For me as an Arab, I am totally ignorant before. So that's why I see the importance of such conference. Really, after that, I am so much eager to look more than and to search more about the history of Oman.
At the conclusion session, His Excellency Dr. Hamad Al-Dhawyani, head of the Sultanate's National Records and Archives, thanked the State of Kuwait for hosting this conference and appreciated the hospitality received. He also commended participants for their excellent presentations that led to fruitful result.
I believe that such conferences shed the light on Oman's policies and Oman's active role in the region, which is go back to several centuries up until this moment, and that really explains the current Omani's foreign policy and current Omani's economic and social policies in Oman itself, and also its relation with the region. I believe that such conferences tie us more to each other and improve our understanding to our role in the whole world, actually, not only in the region. Thank you so much, and I really feel that you are part of us as Omanis here in Kuwait. Actually, you are the people of this land, and we are appreciating having this conference in Kuwait.
Oman enjoys distinctive relations with the countries of the Indian Ocean and the Gulf. This conference held here in the state of Kuwait will boost the relationship further. At the same time, it will assist educating the future generation of strong ties among these societies. From Sheikh Jaber Al Ahmed Culture Center here in Kuwait, I'm Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television.
Palestinian protesters clashed with Israeli forces today as fallout continues over President Donald Trump's announcement recognizing Jerusalem as Israel's capital last week. Following Muslim prayers, Palestinians threw rocks at Israeli troops who responded with tear gas in the West Bank and along the Gaza border. Israeli police said a Palestinian was shot after he attacked an officer with a knife near the West Bank city of Ramallah. The attacker was evacuated from the scene by the Red Cross Medical Service. Gaza Health Ministry spokesman Ashraf Al-Qidra said 5 Palestinians were injured in clashes in 2 locations along Gaza's border with Israel. They were injured by live fire and were in moderate condition. East Jerusalem is home to sensitive Jewish, Muslim and Christian holy sites, and the fate of the territory is an emotionally charged issue at the heart of the conflict. The UN-mediated peace talks started on November 28th and went through a series of setbacks. The Syrian government delegation arrived in Geneva on November 29th, one day after the starting date. During the 2 weeks' time, the government delegation went back to Syria for 8 days. The 2 delegations did not have face-to-face negotiations. UN Special Envoy for Syria Staffan de Mistura had 7 talks with the government and 11 talks with the opposition side. de Mistura said the two sides had missed a golden opportunity to end the crisis. He is still hoping to settle disputes through talks and will hold a new round of talks at proper time. According to the UN, the 6-year Syria crisis killed more than 300,000. Half of the country's population are displaced and 13.5 million people are in need of humanitarian aid. To rebuild Syria, at least $250 billion will be needed.
Very pragmatic about the fact that I am disappointed because my disappointment comes from the fact.
Iraqi security forces today held a military parade in Mosul for the first time since the Daesh group took control of it in 2014. Iraq's Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi declared the end of military operations against Daesh on 9 December, announcing the end of 3 years of battles to regain control over nearly a third of the country. The victory marks the formal end of a bloody campaign that lasted nearly 9 months, left much of Iraq's second-largest city in ruins, killed thousands of people and displaced nearly 1 million more. The British Chancellor Philip Hammond met Chinese Premier Li Keqiang today. Their meeting came the day before the 9th UK-China Economy and Finance Dialogue takes place in Beijing, aimed at creating a deeper trade and investment relationship between their two countries. The British Treasury in a statement said today that more than £1 billion of trade and investment will be agreed at the dialogue. Hammond is accompanied on his visit by the Secretary of State for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy, Greg Clark, Economic Secretary to the Treasury, Stephen Barclay, Exchequer Secretary to the Treasury, Andrew Jones, and Parliamentary Undersecretary of State for Investment, Mark Garnier. 2 more students died today from their injuries after a regional train sliced open a school bus in southern France, bringing the overall death toll to 6. Authorities in the Pyrenees-Orientales region announced the new deaths a day after the crash at a crossing close to the Spanish border. French media said the dead were 2 11-year-old girls. 4 other children aged 12 or 13 died yesterday in the collision, and 16 others and the bus driver were injured. The bus was carrying students aged 11 to 15 from the Christian Bourquin school in the village of Melas near Perpignan in southern France. The school opened its doors today to offer counseling for grieving students and families. Investigators were still working to determine the cause of the crash. Still to come in our news bulletin. A ceremony is held in the Wilaya of Nizwa to mark the 5th anniversary of the inclusion of the art of Al-Azi in the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity of UNESCO. Welcome back to some more local news. As part of the activities of the 6th International Conference in Kuwait, organized by National Records and Archives Authority, the Royal Oman Symphony Orchestra presented a distinctive classical concert. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubai.
In a sparkling evening of a beautiful symphonic program performed by the Royal Oman Symphony Orchestra that entertained the audience at the Opera Hall of Jaber Al Ahmed Al Sabah Exhibition Center in Kuwait, part of the activities of the 6th International Conference organized by the Sultanate National Records and Archives Authority on Oman's relations with the Indian Ocean and the Gulf, the performance of which was praised by many.
I'm so happy to attend this Royal Orchestra here in Kuwait. It's so nice for Oman to bring us such function. Thanks for our brothers and sisters for Oman.
Indeed, the Omani Classical Orchestra presented an impressive and harmonious combination mixed with the beats of Omani drums, which has given best musical tunes that made the audience enjoy every part of it. That was a wonderful performance by the Royal Orchestra here at this exhibition center in the state of Kuwait. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rabi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Kuwait.
Royal Oman Police Operations Center plays a great role in dealing with various incidents and notifications from all parts of the Sultanate through its 24-hour follow-up. It depends on well-qualified national cadres to deal with rain emergency cases through using latest modern technology. They deal with different incidents and follow up certain measures. The center provides state-of-art technology to follow up incidents, analyze them, and coordinate efforts to deal with different emergency cases. The center also can receive calls from smart mobiles when they are out of service for emergency cases in coordination with telecommunication companies in the Sultanate. In order to raise awareness on traffic safety among all segments of the society, in the Governorate of North Bartana, Traffic Safety Committee at Royal Court Affairs organised the Traffic Forum for Family and Children. A number of public and private establishments in the Governorate took part in the event. The two-day forum included awareness activities and traffic safety exhibition that embodied joint efforts to reduce traffic accidents on roads. Oman oil price recorded an increase today and reached $61.16 for the barrel. Dubai Mercantile Exchange stated that Oman oil February delivery witnessed an increase by 92 cents. The average price of Oman oil December delivery reached $59.55. Coinciding with world countries' celebrations of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities, which falls on the 3rd of December every year, Al-Noor Association for the Blind in the Governorate of Dhofar organized a number of cultural, sport and social activities at Sultan Qaboos Youth Compound for Culture and Entertainment in the Wilaya of Salalah. The ceremony came to emphasize on the attention being given by the Al-Noor Association and the Omani Society to this particular segment. The two-day event also included 2 lectures on the International Day of Persons with Disabilities and the concept of voluntary work in Islam. In order to enrich labour market with various scientific specializations, a ceremony was held to mark the graduation of the 13th batch of students from Sur University College in the Wilaya of Sur in the Governorate of South Bartana. The number of graduatees reached around 500, holding diploma, bachelor and master degrees in administration, engineering, human resources and information technology. A workshop was organized at Nizwa Cultural Center on the basics of television shooting with the participation of a number of male and female youths from various wilayas of the Sultanate. The event was conducted by a work team from the Office of the Public Authority for Radio and Television in the Governorate of Dakhiliya. It came as part of partnership among various establishments in the Governorate to develop cultural aspects of youth. In celebration of the 5th anniversary of the inclusion of the art of Al-Azi in the representation list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity of UNESCO, a workshop was held at Nizwa Cultural Center to highlight the cultural and historical significance of this legacy in the Sultanate. Our reporter Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi has more details in the following report.
The Ministry of Heritage and Culture, represented by the General Directorate of Arts, in cooperation with Nizwa Cultural Center, celebrated the 5th anniversary of the inclusion of the art of Al-Azi in the representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity of the UNESCO. The inscription that took place in December 2012 proves the Sultanate's success in maintaining the intangible cultural heritage. In this regard, Oman has been elected recently as an international expert in the Intergovernmental Committee for the Safeguarding of the Intangible Cultural Heritage affiliated to the UNESCO.
These conventions introduce safeguarding measures to the country in the field of ICH, Intangible Cultural Heritage. Also, it gives indication of how countries should deal with the issues, how they introduce programs and educational systems within the community itself, and it raises the value of intangible cultural heritage in total for the countries within the conventions. It is going to be very important to increase the ability to work with the files in the future. Also, it is going to help in capacity building for employees within the ICH sector in the ministry, and that is going to be an added value for the Ministry of Heritage and Culture and Sultanate of Oman.
The celebration included a workshop on the art of Al-Azi, with the participation of a group of specialists in this art to reflect upon the depth of this legacy and its cultural and historical significance. It also shed light on how this art enriches the cultural and intellectual side of the community through a creative reinvention of the existing poems and conserving society's oral memory.
We'll try to focus on inscription of Al-Azi art as one of the humanity arts which inscribed in UNESCO, and also we try to raise the awareness of the community of the importance of inscription and ICH overall.
أسود يا أولاد الأسود أسود بحر طم أسود حجر صم أسود سال عم.
The art of Al-Azi is performed at all national and social occasions in Oman as a symbol of social pride, strength and unity. It takes the form of a poetry contest punctuated by sword, step movements and poetic exchanges between a singer poet and a choir. It may involve a large number of participants guided by the poet, who recites improvised and memorized poems in Arabic. The performers must pay attention to his movements and recitation and respond with appropriate replies and movements.
Al-Azi has been a significant element of the Omani heritage, culture and identity over the history. This workshop emphasizes the Sultanate's ongoing efforts to preserve this valuable art and pass it for future generations. From Nizwa Cultural Center, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Al-Dakhliya, Governorate.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos greets the King of Bahrain on his country's 46th National Day. Special Economic Zone Authority in Duqm offers investment opportunities in Rocks Garden in Duqm. And scattered rains fall on the Governorate of Musandam as the Sultanate is affected by trough of low pressure. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.